My life and career as an insurance adjuster has been great. I have been an insurance adjuster for over 20 years, okay? That is 2 decades that I've put in my career, okay? Just bringing myself up from zero, starting from the bottom, and raising myself up as an experienced adjuster, okay? So I know a little bit of something, I would think. And so I want to introduce you to a career choice of becoming an insurance adjuster. Now, an insurance adjuster is someone pretty much who takes care of a claim when someone gets involved, let's say, into an automobile accident. Well, before I get into that, I do have to tell you that insurance adjusting is a wide range, and there's insurance for so many different things. You have auto insurance, so for your car, okay, you have homeowners insurance, self-explanatory, for your home. You have business insurance for your business. So those are like the three main areas, and then those areas are broken down into so many other different little categories. But the area of adjusting that I focused on were in the areas of automobile and also in the area of what you call general liability. And these are the areas pretty much are the most common areas of, insurance where people are going to want coverage for something. So the first one that I'm going to start off with is auto, and I would say it's usually like the primary entry into the field of adjusting, because if you are able to master this, then you can actually move on to bigger and better things in the field of insurance adjusting. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself and my career and where I started from. It's very interesting. So I'm Jamaican by birth, and so I migrated into this country over 20 years now. Of course, for me to have a career for over 20 years as an adjuster. But in any case, when I started in the mail room of an insurance company. Yes, the mail room. And guess what? The janitor took a liking unto me. He was an older man, but he saw me as a young girl, coming up, someone, coming from the island. I think he was Haitian, so he's also from the Caribbean as well. And he wanted to help me. So he realized that I was Jamaican, and he's like, Simone, you know that there's a Jamaican lady in the accounting department? She's Chinese Jamaican, and I think, you guys could, work together. I think she's looking for someone, but I'm going to introduce you to her, or I'm going to tell her about you. So I said, okay. And he actually told her about me, and then she said she wanted to meet with me, and I went up there. So I was working in the mailroom, which is on the first floor. The second floor is the claims department, and then the third floor is where you had the accounting department, and also where the big boss's office was and all that stuff. So she said, yeah, I would like to meet her. And so I went up there and I interviewed, and she liked me right away. And I transferred from the mail room to the accounting department, and I was doing accounts payable. Now, I didn't know a lot about accounting, but I knew a little something, because in Jamaica, I got my diploma in accounting, management and accounting. Yes, I think that's what it was. So I got my diploma in that field, and so I was qualified to work in the accounting department. So I went up there, and she started showing me the ropes and all that stuff, and I got into this whole thing, because I recently migrated to the US, so this was really my first job. Well, my first job was actually at the Salvation Army as a cashier. I think I probably spent maybe like 2 days there. I didn't do anything much, so I don't really count that as an experience. So my first real job was really in the mailroom. But anyway, going back to what I was saying, I was in the accounting department. I did my thing, she was showing me stuff, but my heart wasn't there. It wasn't my passion. And so I used to go down to the second floor, which is the biggest apartment in the building. And I noticed that, you have all these people on the floor, adjusters, and they were working and pretty much having their own desk and doing their own thing, and nobody's over them telling them do this, do that. And I really admired that, and so I learned a little bit more about what it is, that an insurance adjuster is and what they do and all that stuff, what the requirements are. And what I did was I purchased my book. I think I probably purchased it at the store because back then online purchasing was not a thing. So yes, I think I purchased those books at the store and I studied for my license. I think I studied maybe for about 2 weeks and I went ahead and took my test and I passed it with flying colors. And I was told that there are people there in the same office that have tried to take that test maybe 2-3 times and still failed it. So for me, little itsy bitsy me coming from Jamaica and just doing this test and passing it, that was quite an achievement. I was so proud. Anyway, I passed it and what would you say? I wouldn't say that I became an adjuster because I pretty much knew nothing, right? So I transferred again now from the accounting department now to the claims department. And there I started off as, I'm going to say I started off in the first report department, which is pretty much customer service. So I was learning the ropes. So I started from the bottom up. So there I would take the phone calls of people, calling in, saying, hey, what's going on with my claim, and I would provide them with the status, and if it's a new claim, then I would take the information and note it in the system as to what the new claim is, give them their claim number and stuff like that. So while I was there learning the ropes and all that, I was also smart. I wanted to be an adjuster, so all I did was I started reading the notes, okay, and I would go to the adjusters who are handling the particular file and I would ask them questions, and I would have a little notepad and I would write everything down that I learned. And then something else came up with another claim where somebody called on it, and then I would make another little note down and I would do all this stuff. And then what happened is after I've gained all this knowledge and I wrote it down, I felt pretty confident that I knew a little something, right? In any event, I went on vacation to Jamaica, and guess what? When I returned, they laid off like 60 people in the department, and I was one of them, and I was one of the last hired in that department. So I got let go. I had no other choice but to find my way, okay? And to find my way, what I did was I applied to insurance companies and I put it down that I'm an insurance adjuster because really and truly I'm licensed, right? So I applied, and with the little knowledge that I gained from just asking people questions and reading the notes and putting 2 and 2 together, I was able to do well in those interviews. I don't remember how many interviews I did before getting the job, but I know it wasn't a lot. But this company hired me and I started working there as a property damage adjuster. So in the field of auto insurance, you have property damage adjuster, you have personal injury protection adjusters, and then you also have bodily injury adjuster. Oh, and there's another level, you have litigation adjusters. So every company is different. Some companies may have one adjuster do all 4 areas of it, while you have companies that have an adjuster focus on a particular area. So the company that I was working for, they have an adjuster for every area. So I started at the bottom as a property damage adjuster. And as a property damage adjuster, this pretty much means that, when people get involved in a car accident and their vehicle, get damaged, then they would call in so that the insurance company can pay for the damage to their vehicle. So I would then be the adjuster who would take care of that. So if the person is insured with the company and that their vehicle was damaged, then we would go ahead and have an appraiser take a look at the vehicle, do an estimate, and then we pay out whatever it is that needs to be paid out to them. And if they were the ones at fault in the accident and hit someone else's vehicle and they called in, then we would also go ahead and take care of the damage to their vehicle. So there's a lot more to it, but I'm just hitting the surface of it, okay? And then now the next area you have is what you call personal injury protection. And this is where it covers for your medical bills. It's a no-fault coverage. And I was in Florida at the time for my first insurance adjusting job. So pretty much I'm telling you about Florida, but it's in every state in the US, okay? And other countries also have insurance adjusters, just that their way of doing things are going to be different. So everything I'm talking about is just how we do business in the US and in Florida, specifically where I started my career in the personal injury protection. This is where we pay for the medical bills, and it doesn't matter who is at fault. So pretty much all you have to do is to submit the medical bills, or actually the medical bills are coming from the doctors who provide the service. They're the ones who are submitting the bills, and then the bills get paid. Now, I never did that portion of adjusting. I was never a personal injury adjuster, so I just know what they do, but I've never actually done it. And then the next level of that is called a bodily injury. And again, now this pertains to the injuries of the people, okay? That if you're insured with the company and you caused the accident and someone was hurt as a result of that, they would then call in to make a claim, and they would either make the claim themselves or they may get an attorney. So I would be the one now to go ahead and handle those claims, okay? I would be reading the medical bills. I would be figuring out, what the injuries are, and then we would place a value on that claim and make an offer and saying, hey, okay, for the minor injuries you sustain, we're going to give you $10,000. Or if the injury is significant, it could be $100,000, it could be $50,000. It just depends on what the policy limit is. And then the next stage of it is now litigation. So this is when, the person now has an attorney, and if for whatever reason, let's say an offer is made and the person is not happy with it, then they may get an attorney, and then the attorney now sues. Or if there was an attorney involved from the beginning, but they're still not happy with the offer that is being made or something like that, then the attorney would go ahead and file suit, pretty much saying, hey, we want a third party's opinion in this matter. Now, if they file suit, then a litigation adjuster would be the one who would take care of that aspect of the claim, and the litigation adjuster pretty much deals with just, getting that claim to resolution. Now, before it goes to trial or anything like that, there are lots of different steps that a litigation adjuster has to follow, and a lot of times the point is to get the claim resolved before it actually goes to court, which is trial and all that stuff. So a lot of times those cases get resolved in any event, but that's just one aspect of how an attorney may file suit on something. But an adjuster would be the one representing the insurance company and taking care of the claim and making sure that all that stuff gets done. So I know that I have talked like a mouthful of stuff, but being an insurance adjuster is an exciting career. You learn something new every single day. There's not really a dull moment, believe me. And guess what? You will always have work as an insurance adjuster. Always, because guess what? People are always getting involved in accidents. They are going to need somebody to help, put the pieces together and make them whole. So yeah, it definitely is a career that I would suggest that you try out, especially if you are young, maybe just leaving high school, or you're a young adult and still trying to figure out your life and your career. The pay is good. You can make you make in the 5 figures to 6 figures. It just depends on how much experience you have and what area of adjusting that you're involved in. Now, the areas that I mentioned, which is auto, which is property damage, personal injury protection, bodily injury, and litigation, that covers just the auto aspect. We haven't gone into homeowners yet, right? We haven't gone into general liability. So those are 2 other areas, but I'm just going to touch just a little bit on the other 2. Homeowner insurance, I have never really done that before. But pretty much this is, if somebody gets hurt while in your home, okay? Let's say, for example, you're at home and your neighbor came over, or some friends or whoever came over, you invited them to your house, and then you have a dog and the dog bit them. You can make a claim through your homeowner's insurance policy, and they would take care of the medical bills for that individual. It could be someone, walking inside the house and they slipped and fell, or, something fell on top of them. Whatever it is, as long as the injury happened inside or on your property rather, then your homeowner's insurance will take care of it. And then the next insurance that I talked about is the general liability insurance. And usually this is for Usually this kind of goes hand in hand with businesses, usually. Okay, so if you were to walk into Walmart or yeah, one of those stores and you got hurt, maybe slip and fall, there was liquid or something on the floor, you didn't know, you're just walking, shopping and doing your thing, and all of a sudden you slide and you fall. Hey, what insurance is going to cover that? So that would fall under the general liability insurance, and that's the one that would cover for someone slipping and falling and stuff like that. You also have property adjusters that I haven't gotten into, and this is if your home is there's fire damage. You have adjusters who go out and they take care of that stuff. They do an estimate, and their job is either to repair the property, so work the claim so that they figure how much it's going to cost to repair the property, or if the house is burned down where they consider it to be a total loss, then now they place a value on the home and they will then pay you off for that. If there's a mortgage, then the money is going to go to the mortgage company, and if there's anything left over, then the balance is going to go to you. So an example of that would be, let's say the house is worth $300,000, but you've been paying your mortgage and stuff like that, and you only have like $100,000 left to pay off the house. Then if the house is valued at $300,000, then pretty much they're going to pay $100,000 to the mortgage company, and then the $200,000 would go to you, and you can then use that to buy another house or rebuild it, or whatever you choose to do. So that's kind of how this whole insurance thing works. It's a network. So like I said, you will always have a job, and I definitely want to push you into that. As my other videos come, I will explain in detail so much more about what these different fields entail, but I'm going to focus on the areas that I have pursued my career in, because those are the areas that I have my experience in, and those are the areas that I'm going to recommend to you because I've been there, and I would say I've done that, but I'm still doing it. So I'm active in it, so I'll be able to answer any questions you have. I'll be able to lead you into the right path. So yeah, I will have a course ready for you, and you will be able to purchase that course and learn everything you need to know about insurance adjusting. And I just want to say thank you for listening, and even so, thank you for considering being an insurance adjuster, because if you're young and you have no idea what you want to do with your life, you don't want to start working at McDonald's or one of those low-end jobs where it's going to take you a while to build up to something. Or if your interest is not in the restaurant business, it's in something completely different. You spending 5 years of your life working in a fast food restaurant, what is that going to do for you? Nothing. But if you say, hey, okay, I hear about this insurance adjusting thing, it makes sense and I can make a lot of money from it, hey, why not pursue your career in that instead? Why not waste your time on that? Waste your time on learning how to be an insurance adjuster while you're working your low-end job, and then when you're good and ready and you have all the information you have, you say bye-bye and you go pursue your career and make something of your life. You can do it. I have faith in you. So just keep watching. And you'll learn so much more, and purchase the course, and I guarantee you, you will not be disappointed. Share it with your friends, share it with your family members. Everybody needs to be able to do something good and sensible with their life. And guess what? You don't need a big education to do this thing. You can get a job with just a high school education. You can get a job if you're a college graduate. You can get a job if you have bigger degrees or other accreditations. It's just a matter of your experience and your credential that's going to push you into getting a higher pay for your job. You could become a supervisor, you can become a claims manager, you can become, like a district manager, where you're placed over so many aspects of the claims department, the running of the whole thing. So there is career growth. There's a lot of movement. You just need to figure out what you want to do, how you want to live your life, how you want to spend your days, because I know nobody really wants to live hand to mouth anymore. You really want to do something good with your life, right? You want to make something of yourself? Well, try out being an insurance adjuster, and I am the person who's going to teach you everything you need to know to get you from this stage where you're at in your job to this stage, okay, as an insurance adjuster. You may also, you know, just be doing something, some other kind of job, and you're not happy with it. You're not comfortable. You don't feel fulfilled. You could definitely switch over to becoming an insurance adjuster. And the requirements are not much. Like I said, some companies will accept you with just a high school diploma. And all you have to do is to pass a test with the state that you live in. And some states don't even require you to have a license, believe it or not. So if you take the course that I'm going to teach to you, or offer to you rather, right? If you purchase my course and then you live in one of those states and you practice what I teach you there, you can start making money right away and just start your career right there and then. If it's a state that requires you to get a license, then all you have to do is just to study the exam, right? Take the test, pass it, and with the knowledge and information that I pass on to you, which is the day-to-day stuff that you need to know to perform your job as an insurance adjuster, you're going to do absolutely great. So take it from me, a veteran of 20 years, over 20 years rather, as an insurance adjuster, because I started doing this back in 1998. Yeah, that's when I got introduced into the insurance world. So it's been quite a while. So I definitely will be able to teach you a thing or two. But thank you so much for listening in. If you're new here, you know exactly what to do. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one.